Times front page for Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Britain and the rest of the world said their public farewells to Queen Elizabeth II in funeral services watched by billions worldwide. Mark Kellner reports the funeral in Westminster Abbey drew a packed crowd of 2,000, including President Biden and hundreds of other heads of state, as well as members of the Queen's family, British officials, and select friends. Generations of Elizabeth's descendants, including King Charles, his son, and next in line to the throne Prince William, and his 9-year-old son George, followed the coffin into the same church where she was married and crowned. As many as 2 million poured into the streets of London to catch a glimpse of Elizabeth's casket as it made its final journey by hearse from Westminster to Windsor Castle. She will be interred next to the remains of Prince Philip, who preceded her in death by 17 months. An estimated global television audience of 4 billion people watched the proceedings, making it the largest single event ever broadcast. Senate Democrats are preparing to vote on legislation that would offer voters a look under the hood of shadowy nonprofits and other political groups by no longer allowing anonymous contributions of more than $10,000. It's a recurring proposition over the past decade from Democrats, Ramsey Touchberry reports, who have benefited in recent years more than Republicans from dark money groups. They say the move will provide transparency into how political efforts are bankrolled. Spending from groups that do not have to disclose their donors topped $1 billion for the first time in 2020, largely benefiting Democrats, according to Open Secrets, a nonprofit that tracks campaign finance and lobbying. Conservatives oppose changing the rules that exempt nonprofit groups from disclosing donors, saying that would be an invasion of privacy. Federal Trade Commission Chair Lina Khan is bracing for tough questioning when she appears before a Senate Judiciary Committee panel that oversees federal enforcement of antitrust laws. Susan Ferricchio reports Khan will testify before the Senate Judiciary Subcommittee on Competition Policy, Antitrust, and Consumer Rights, alongside Jonathan Cantor, the Assistant Attorney General who heads the Department of Justice's antitrust divisions. It will be Khan's first time facing the panel since she took over as FTC chair in June 2021. It also comes amid some backlash against her for expanding and extending the role of the FTC to more aggressively restrict mergers and block business practices the Commission deems unfair. You can read all of these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find our entire lineup of news, commentary, and sports podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. Stephen Dinan looks at the back and forth between federal agencies who fire workers and then how those workers are able to get their jobs back after arbitration. When a case goes to arbitration, the arbiter is selected from a list shaped by both the agencies and the unions. Unions not only pick which cases to pursue on behalf of employees, but they also provide legal representation. Andrew Huddleston, a spokesperson for the American Federation of Government Employees, said agencies lose their cases because they're making bad arguments. Tony Reardon, national president of the National Treasury Employees Union, also stressed unions' abilities to evaluate which cases have merit as a factor in why arbitration is successful more than half of the time. And finally, in Italy, Giorgia Meloni stepped up efforts to distance herself from her far-right fascist past as support for her political party grew. It now appears she might have a shot at becoming Italy's first female prime minister. She insists Italy would remain a reliable partner to its Western allies and wouldn't embrace the affinity for Russia that some Italian conservatives have espoused. Not all voters, or many in the Italian political establishment, are buying the pitch. Her rise in the polls has spooked investors on the Italian stock exchange and on bond markets. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.